So there is this big debate that has been going on in the world of football, and many have been questioning who is going to win the Ballon d'Oro, because there has been so many talks about Salah, there has been talks about Kylian Mbappe, there has been talks about Dembele, and there has also been talks about Raphinha and Lamine Yamal. Now, as Barcelona fans, we're always going to be just destined to say that yes, Lamine Yamal should win the Ballon d'Oro or any other Barcelona player. And I understand that. I understand why we could be a little biased, but in this video, I do want to kind of take this conversation a little serious, because I really do think, I hope you guys do buy what I'm saying here, but I really do think that Raphinha is the number one contender to win the Ballon d'Oro. I know that players like Salah and Dembele do exist, and those are going to be the other two players that I want to revolve this conversation around, right? Like, I want to talk about Salah, I want to talk about Dembele and Raphinha. But in order for you guys to understand where I'm trying to get at and why I'm going to be saying that Raphinha deserves it over Salah and Dembele, I want to talk about how the Ballon d'Oro likes to engineer their, I would just say, opinions. Like, what makes them say that this player should win the Ballon d'Oro? So let's talk about that. Who votes and how the points are counted, right? France Football makes a short list of about 30 players. And we also know that there is 100 sports journalists, one from each of the top 100 FIFA nations, that do get a ballot. And each voter writes down their top 5. So whoever they do think is like in first place, for example, they get 6 points. Whoever they believe is in second place, they get 4 points. Whoever they believe is in third place, they get 3 points. Whoever they believe is in fourth place, they get 2 points, and then fifth place gets 1 point. So for example, if I'm just saying, as an example, I say that Messi is first place, he gets 6 points, and I say second place is Lewandowski, for example, he gets 4 points. So that is how the points are tallied, right? You add up all the points, and the highest score does win. The next two scores are second and third place. If two players are tied in points, the one with more first place votes wins the tiebreaker. So moving on towards point number 2. What voters are told to look at. Like, what do they have to look at in order for them to understand, okay, this guy deserves to be in first place, this guy deserves to be in second place? Point number 1, they look at the individual performance, which means the goals, the assist, the key saves, if it so happens to be a goalkeeper, the big defensive actions, if it so happens to be a center back like Van Dijk, for example. How many man of the match awards have they claimed? They look at the Opta stats, and they also look at the clutch plays. For example, they may say, oh yeah, Raphinha's play against Bayern Munich, that moment, that has to be accounted to my vote, and he did that 3 times. Okay, so I think that he should be over this player because he did it 3 times. He came in clutch 4 to 5 times, so he's in first place, and this player's in second place. So that is what it means by clutch plays. Then you do have point number 2, the team trophies. What have they won? Did they win the league titles, the Champions League titles, any major cups? What role has the player played in order for them to win a certain game or win a certain title? What role did they play? And then point number 3 is their class and leadership. So just think about, like Messi or Lam, those players, or like Puyol, in terms of their pure talent, their style, their fairness, their attitude, their influence on their teammates, etc., etc. So those are the things that these voters have to look at. It's not just, okay, because this player's in the final of the Champions League, he deserves to be the number 1 contender to win the Ballon d'Oro. It's not just that. There's multiple things. It's all about the impact. It's all about the context of the sport and what they do through those matches. So because of this, right, this is the reason why we have seen so many controversial winners in the past 15 to 20 years. For example, back in 2010, we saw Messi win the Ballon d'Oro, and we knew in that year that players like Iniesta and Xavi were bossing the midfield at Barcelona, and not just that, but they were in the World Cup final in 2010, and because of that, many were saying, yeah, like, Xavi and Iniesta deserve to be over Lionel Messi. And another player that people were talking about at that time was Wesley Sneijder. Do you guys remember Wesley Sneijder from the Netherlands? The reason why they also believe that Sneijder deserved to go over Messi is because he won the Champions League in 2010 with Inter Milan, and he was in the World Cup final with the Netherlands against Spain. And so it goes to show, right, at that time, that it did not matter what trophies you won, or let's just say, for example, what position you were in the World Cup final, for example. What matters is That, right, those positions, and also the goals and assists, and how like did you come in clutch through those matches. Hence the reason why at that time Messi won the title. Messi at that time scored 60 club goals through that season window. He was La Liga's top goal scorer with 34, top dribbler, 31 match-winning goal actions, right? 31, right? There were 31 times Messi has scored that ended up for his team to win. That's a huge deal. That's called impact. It's called context, right? Because if you just look at like, I don't know, bro. Like, if you just look at if you go back to 2010 and you saw, no, let's go to 2014 and you saw Mascherano in the final of 2014, right, of the World Cup, Argentina. Are you really gonna say that Mascherano deserved it over Cristiano Ronaldo in 2014? So no, it's not just about the position of the player. It's about the context and what they did that allowed for that team to go to the final or semifinals or whatever, whether it's international or whether it's for a club. So Messi in 2010, no major trophy that he won with Argentina, but he won the FIFA World Cup Golden Ball shortlist. I mean, like, he did not win it, but he was in the shortlist for the FIFA World Cup Golden Ball. And his technical supremacy was just amazing. But once again, everybody thought that Snyder should have won only because he was in positions that Messi couldn't be in. And that was not the case. Messi won in 2010. In 2013, Cristiano Ronaldo won it over Messi and Ribéry. But what happened in 2013? Frank Ribéry was bossing the left flank, right? He was like Salah, but on steroids for Bayern Munich. And he did amazing with France as well in 2013. But given the context of what Ronaldo did in 2013, 69 club and country goals in that calendar year. He was averaging 1.12 goals per 90 minutes. He came in clutch for the World Cup playoff match against Sweden. He scored a hat-trick, right? He knocked out Sweden and he led Portugal to the World Cup. It's amazing, right? Context really does matter. 3 total goals in that game. No major team trophy for Ronaldo, but Ribéry won the treble with Bayern Munich. But why did Ronaldo win? That is because he came more in clutch and he scored goals, he provided assists. Real Madrid did decent on that year as well. And you know, that was Ronaldo. He was amazing in that year. And then 2024, something that we have seen recently, Rodri won the Ballon d'Or over Kylian Mbappe and over Vinicius. And Vinicius back in 2024 won everything with Real Madrid. But the reason why it was given to Rodri, did I say Rodri though? I meant to say Rodri. I don't know if I said Rodri though, but I meant to say Rodri, right, from Man City, the midfielder. 54 games that he has played, 8 goals and 9 assists, right? Not more goals and assists than Vinicius, right? Because that's not how the Ballon d'Or thing works. The ranking, it does not work like that. Rodri is a CDM. Okay, so let's get the context in. He's a CDM. 93% of his passes were accurate. He, in terms of the PL, best possession regains, unbeaten in 74 straight matches that he started in. Premier League champion, UEFA Super Cup champion, FIFA Club World Cup, right? He was doing really good in that tournament. The Euro 2024 player of the tournament as Spain won the title. Rodri was there, right? He was very consistent. And so because of all of that, because he came in clutch, I think, honestly, dude, like, no, that was in 2023, right? Where I think Rodri scored the winner for Man City that allowed them to win. Yeah, that was in 2023, but still, moments like that is what made Rodri get up there and win the Ballon d'Or over players like Vinicius, Kylian Mbappe, and Jude Bellingham. That's just how it is. It's how it works. So now that you guys know that, now that you guys have that type of context, that is the reason why I believe that Raphinha deserves to win the Ballon d'Or over Salah and over Dembele, right? That's just how it is. And if we take a look, and I'm going to add a picture here. Yeah, I'm going to add a picture here for when I rate Raphinha and Dembele, when we compare those two players, because the main talk of the town right now is that Dembele is better than Raphinha, only because Dembele is in the final of the Champions League. But if you look at this picture here, and you look at the past 5 months, from right now all the way until January, let's just say December, who do you believe has been the most consistent between Raphinha and Dembele? If you look at these graphs here, who has more green, right? And who has the average higher bars? It is Raphinha. And as a matter of fact, Raphinha has more blue bars, which is like really high rankings, like 8 out of 10 type ranking, than Dembele. And that shows that Raphinha has been more consistent over the past few months compared to Dembele. In the last 5 months, Raphinha has been more consistent and decisive. Okay. If we also look at the stats, we'll talk about the context behind these stats, right? In just a few seconds. Raphinha, in the year of 2024 and 2025, right, to this season, 53 matches, 54 goal contributions, and he has won 2 trophies. Dembele, 45 matches, 43 goal contributions, and 2 trophies won. So they're very even. But Dembele has played less games, hence the reason why he could have less goal contributions to Raphinha. But here's the thing. These voters, the Ballon d'Or voters, they also like to take into account your availability, your reliability, right? Dembele has been injured more than Raphinha, and Raphinha has been there on top of his game, more reliable for his team. And people, these voters, like it to look at that. And at the end of the day, Raphinha has been very consistent with the matches that he has been given. You give him more games, he'll score more goals or provide more assists. And so to say that Raphinha is out of the Ballon d'Or race only because Barcelona just got knocked out by Inter Milan, it's ludicrous. It is ridiculous. It is just something that only 9-year-olds would say. Right? If you really understand this sport, you will understand where I am coming from. I'm not saying this because I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm not saying this because I love Raphinha or I'm a Raphinha fanboy. No, I'm looking at this. I'm trying to justify why I have this opinion. And a lot of these things do make a lot of sense based off what the Ballon d'Or history has been telling us and how football makes sense. Right? Football makes sense when you look at the context behind these goals. Right? Because now that is where we're going to get into the real key important facts. Right? Raphinha has scored or assisted the winner for FC Barcelona in 15 matches. Let me repeat that. Raphinha has scored or assisted the winner for FC Barcelona in 15 matches. That's insane. And Dembele, looking at Dembele, he has scored or assisted the winner for PSG in 10 matches. Raphinha in 15, Dembele in 10. That's insane. So, and let me give you guys even more key facts, right? Raphinha has scored or assisted the tie for FC Barcelona in 2 matches, while Dembele scored or assisted the tie for PSG in 1 match. So Raphinha has been coming in much more in clutch for FC Barcelona than Dembele for PSG, and that's just a fact. I know that Dembele has had moments of being heroic and saving PSG. I know that it exists. Yes, the data, the facts, the videos are there, the games are there. Dembele has rised up in multiple occasions for PSG. It does exist, but Raphinha has done it much more. Those are just facts. And so that conversation about Dembele being over Raphinha has to go out the window. Now, here's the thing. If there was one true competitor in this world that can match Raphinha right now in terms of efficiency, impact, the goals, and the assist, it is Salah. Salah is the one that should be in the conversation, but no one talks about Salah only because, which is ridiculous, only because Liverpool did not make it into the semifinals. Liverpool made it to the top of the table in the Champions League. Liverpool went to the next round after that, and they gave a good fight. Just because they have been knocked out by PSG, it does not mean that, okay, automatically Dembele goes over Salah. No, Salah and Liverpool have done amazing this season, and even though Salah's going to end up with less titles than Raphinha, it does not mean that Salah automatically is disqualified. No, Salah, given his context and the type of goals he scored and how many goals he scored, he is a direct competitor to Raphinha, and I'm going to show you guys why. Okay, so he has 33 games played. He has been involved in 56 goals. No, wait, I read that wrong. He has just been involved in 56 goals. That is more than Raphinha. Okay, 33 goals and 23 assists. He, in terms of matches where he scored and assisted the winner, right? Going back to those key facts, 15. When it comes to the matches where he scored and assisted the equalizer for Liverpool, 2 matches. And so he has also won man of the match a total of 10 times, more than Raphinha. And he has been recognized as one of the most consistent goals and assist players in the Premier League. and he also won the Premier League for Liverpool, bro. Like, what else are you gonna say? This guy is the real deal. He has more clutch moments than Raphinha and Dembele, and so I believe that if there was one player that can compete against Raphinha and take away his Ballon d'Oro, it is Salah. Now, here's gonna be another thing. If Raphinha gets a big moment against Real Madrid, and he has a man of the match performance against Real Madrid in this upcoming Clasico, because I'm going to be posting this on Saturday, and I have no idea what's going to happen in that Clasico, and I hope that everything goes well. Side note, I'm going to be making a match review for that match, for the Clasico. But if Raphinha has a man of the match performance against Real Madrid and Barcelona end up winning La Liga, Raphinha is the Ballon d'Or winner. I'm letting you guys know right now. Because remember, context and what these players do during the games. If he ends up scoring the winner or providing the assist to the winner, or he ends up just scoring a hat-trick, who knows? He might have a performance like he did against Bayern Munich 4 to 5 months ago. But if Raphinha brings Barcelona forward and Barcelona ends up winning La Liga, taking him to 3 total trophies won, Raphinha is the Ballon d'Or winner. And if that does not happen, then I will be very pissed. I will be pissed, because that means that you have stolen the Ballon d'Or to Raphinha. Something that was unheard of 9 months ago. It was considered as a meme for Raphinha to even be considered as a Ballon d'Or winner. It was a meme. Like, go back 9 months ago. Go look at social media. Look how everybody was memeing Raphinha winning the Ballon d'Or. I even said I was actually like memeing that too, because it just seemed unreal. But with what Raphinha has done this season and how he continues to be so important for FC Barcelona, if he does what he does in the Clasico and Barcelona end up winning La Liga, if it does not go to him, that is robbery. And something went on that just didn't make any sense, or some people paid somebody else or whatever. It would be considered as robbery. So to me, as of now, I would just say that Raphinha and Salah, at this moment that I am recording this video, they're very tied, and we'll see what Raphinha and Salah do in these next 4 to 5 matches that are left, that could dictate how the Ballon d'Or is going to go later down this year. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.